People gaze into the infinite depths of space, wondering how many amazing things are going on out there that they have no idea about. We've gathered 10 facts that will help lift the veil of mystery. Mercury has a tail. Many people know that comets have tails. But have you ever heard of a tailed planet? Mercury has a trail of sodium atoms that the solar wind blows off the planet's surface. From the outside, it looks like the tail characteristic of comets. It is not easy to see it. To do this, you need to take a photo with a long exposure using a telescope and a special filter. It is also important to choose the right time. The tail is brightest within 16 days of the planet's perihelion. If you decide to try your luck and can find the right equipment, the Sky Tonight app can help you pick the right day. First, find Mercury using the search, magnifying glass icon at the bottom of the screen. Then, tap on the relevant result and go to the Events tab. There, you will find a list of all upcoming Mercury-related events, including perihelion. There is a man buried on the moon. Eugene Shoemaker, one of the discoverers of the famous Shoemaker-Levy 9 comet, was at the origin of astrogeology and was supposed to be the first geologist to set foot on the moon. Unfortunately, his health condition prevented him from going to the moon in his lifetime. Instead, he trained Neil Armstrong and other astronauts for the Apollo program missions. In 1997, he traveled to Australia in search of unknown impact craters, where he died in a car accident. In recognition of his service to science, NASA delivered his ashes to the moon aboard the Lunar Prospector spacecraft. To date, Eugene Shoemaker remains the only person buried on the moon. There is a planet suspected to be made up of diamonds. Exoplanet 55 Cancri E, 40 light-years away, may be covered in diamonds. Sounds beautiful, but you're unlikely to want to go there unless you like to sunbathe at 2400 Drivsti and breathe hydrocyanic acid. As suggested by scientists, 55 Cancri E was formed from a star with a high carbon-to-oxygen ratio and is therefore rich in carbon. Diamond is a solid form of carbon. The research team believes that diamonds could make up at least a third of the planet's mass, about 3 Earth masses. Further research is needed to confirm the theory. Saturn has a hexagonal storm. A multi-layered storm with an unusual hexagonal shape is raging at Saturn's North Pole. It was first discovered in 1981 by NASA's Voyager spacecraft. Later, in 2006, the Cassini spacecraft provided more detailed images and data. It turned out that the storm is about 300 kilometers high, 29,000 kilometers wide, and is probably composed of atmospheric gases moving at about 320 kilometers h. The sides of the hexagon are about 14,500 kilometers long, which is 2,000 kilometers larger than the diameter of the Earth. It also changes color, depending on the time of year on Saturn. It turns gold in summer and blue in winter. There is a giant cloud of water in space. We know that it's not just Earth that has water. For example, Europa, one of Jupiter's 4 satellites, is thought to have an ocean that may contain twice as much water as all the bodies of water on our planet. However, the most water is contained in a cloud surrounding a quasar, a luminous supermassive black hole 12 billion light-years away. This cloud of water vapor covers an area of several light-years and contains 140 trillion times more water than the entire world's oceans. Lego figures have been sent to orbit Jupiter. To get children interested in science and space exploration, Lego made 3 figures. They were placed on the Juno interplanetary station created by NASA to explore Jupiter. The Lego crew included the god Jupiter himself and his wife Juno, after whom the mission is named. They were accompanied by Galileo Galilei, who discovered the planet's 4 largest satellites. The figures have no moving parts. They were cast in a special aluminum that can withstand the rigors of interplanetary flight. By the way, they are still orbiting Jupiter. The Juno mission has been extended until September 2025. Neptune has made only 1 revolution around the Sun since its discovery. Neptune is the most distant planet in the solar system. It was discovered in 1846. It was the first planet discovered using mathematics. Astronomers noticed that Uranus deviated from its calculated orbit, which allowed them to assume the existence of another planet and then find it. Neptune is so far away that it can only be seen with optical instruments. Because it is farthest from the Sun, it also has the longest orbital period. A year on Neptune lasts 164.8 Earth years. That's why it has managed to make only one revolution around the Sun since its discovery. That was in 2011. Once, a wedding ring was lost and found in space. On the second day of the Apollo 16 lunar mission, Command Module pilot Ken Mattingly discovered he had lost his wedding ring. The crew searched all over the ship for it. On the 9th day, it was finally spotted floating out of a hatch while Mattingly was in outer space. Another astronaut, Charles Duke Jr., spotted the ring and tried to grab it, but was unsuccessful. Fortunately, it bounced off Mattingly's helmet and Duke caught it. Imagine, a small ring almost lost in the depths of vast space. However, people have already left a lot of things in space. Even a toothbrush is flying around out there somewhere. Spaceships have reached all the planets of the solar system. Mankind has been exploring space for more than 60 years, which is not that long in the scale of the universe. During this time, spacecraft have traveled to all planets in the solar system, including dwarf planets. Spacecraft have landed on Mars and Venus, as well as orbited Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and Ceres. NASA's Voyager 2 flew past Uranus and Neptune, and the New Horizons probe approached Pluto. In addition to important scientific data, spacecraft have provided us with many photographs of other planets and their satellites. There are more trees on Earth than there are stars in the Milky Way. You've probably heard that there are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on Earth. This seems quite likely given the size of the cosmos. That's why we find it hard to believe that the cosmos could be inferior to Earth in any way. Oddly enough, this is true, at least if we take not the entire universe, but only our Milky Way galaxy. The advantage is obvious. According to rough estimates, the Milky Way has 100 to 400 billion stars, and our planet has more than 3 trillion trees. Now you know a little more about the universe. Keep exploring the cosmos. Subscribe to the channel not to miss new interesting videos.